Whew. That was actually a very long day yesterday. I'm not gonna lie. Basically, well, let's get into my low first. My low is essentially the fact that, if I'm low about anything, it's the fact that my NFL pick for last night was wrong. I wanted to throw the Seahawks a bone, and it didn't really pan out now, did it? So, yes, I'm already starting this week 0-1. Not looking good so far. And I guess I was also really busy yesterday because I had a lot to do. It's not a lot to do. It was really only a couple of things. But those couple things took, a relatively long time to do each. Like, all in all, it was like 3.5, almost 4 hours of helping my father take care of everything up at Keuka Lake that needed to be legitimately taken care of as soon as possible. So, my high on my act of kindness was, helping my dad, take care of the cottage at Keuka Lake, which we did. And, I got to spend the afternoon with him. That was great. If you're wondering what we did, basically we first we got to take the boat out, and he had to drive it all the way back to a place called Morgan Marines in Penn Yan, New York, where he drops the boat off. And I had to drive the trailer. He's driving the boat to Penn Yan. I'm driving his truck to Penn Yan, and with the trailer in tow. So, we did that first. And then we worked on getting the jet ski out of the water. So, yeah, sorry, folks. To be fair about, because I know the last 3 years I actually did do a video where I started off on my jet ski. And as much as I really do like to do those, I ultimately am more terrified of what's going to happen than I feel is worth, doing. You have to remember, I'm filming these videos on essentially my camera phone. If I drop that phone into the waters of Keuka Lake, that is it. There are no more new videos. I don't want to risk that. So, and don't get me wrong, it was a very tough call. It really was. But ultimately, the safety and welfare of being able to do this at all most definitely outweighs a risk like that. So, I should, talk about that for, going forward. And that's not to say I won't do anything crazy risky ever again. Here's an example. Let's say, I'm on one of those, bungee sort of things, and I film myself doing that or whatever. First things first, I would definitely, duct tape the phone to my hand so I would, so I wouldn't drop it. But, yeah, I'm getting far sidetracked. The point is, yesterday I spent the day with my dad. And it was hard work, and, we did argue a little bit, but we did get it done. And that's ultimately what's more important. So there you go. Good morning and happy Friday, everyone. Today is Friday, and there is a lot to look forward to today. Well, I think there's a lot to look forward to. I'm going to get myself some burritos this afternoon. Horseheads. Has a home football game. Trinity Pauling has a game tomorrow. Hopefully they'll do better this week than last week. So, apparently when both of my teams lose, they don't just lose, they lose horribly. Although, in terms of Trinity Pauling's future, I don't know if they'll actually pull out being because I think they have a tournament bracket too. I don't know. When I was there, they did. Pretty much if you were undefeated, you got to go to the championship game. And I don't know if that's going to be the case. I guess it's largely going to have to depend on how Trinity Pauling does the rest of the season. But I think they can pull it off. Um, Actually, you know what? I'm wrong. Trailing Polling doesn't have a game this weekend. Silly me. They have a game next weekend. I think it says weekend. Hold on a minute. Hold on, let me, oh, excuse me. I'm very tired right now. Yeah, I know they lost, but where's the, here it is. So, oh, yeah, so, literally next week. They don't have a game this week. But Horseheads does have a home game against the Johnson City Wildcats, which should be a very good game. I really think that, I mean, I'm pretty sure Horseheads is going to try not to lose to any school from the Binghamton area ever again, even though well, it's weird. Johnson City and Maine Enwell are like very close to like the Binghamton area. Like, I believe like, there used to be like a shirt that described like, because at least in Section 4, like you could almost, in the Southern Tier Athletic Conference, you could break it down in like 4 regions, like West, East, Central, and Metro. And the Binghamton area was Metro. So you have like Binghamton's well, Binghamton obviously, which is a school they'll play next week at Binghamton. Vestal, Union Endicott. I'll actually get to them momentarily. And is that it? I want to say it was Johnson City, Maine Enwell, but I think Ithaca maybe. Maybe Ithaca. I don't know. I gotta look that up again. Right. So I want to bring up Union Endicott. Oh, that's weird. Computer screen started acting funny. Don't know what for. It just started acting funny. Anyway, I lost my train of thought. Oh, right. I was talking about how, as of right now, believe it or not, the Horseheads Blue Raiders are officially state ranked. They are 22nd out of 25, which, yeah, it doesn't really sound all that impressive, but to my knowledge, this is probably the first time in probably a couple of decades that Horseheads was even ranked at all. So this is huge. Very huge. And, top 25 teams in New York State, that's something to sneeze at. One problem, though. Union Endicott, who Horseheads will have to face in a couple weeks for their homecoming, which I am very excited for, they're also state ranked. And they're higher state ranked. So needless to say, in a couple weeks, that game is going to be for all the marbles. I think it's going to be a very good game. Hopefully we'll finally win. I'll be honest, in the past we have beaten Union Endicott, but we never beat them when I was there. In fact, we lost to them horribly every time I was there. Like, I just mentioned how Trinity Pauling lost to Taft like 37-6. It was pretty much like that every single time. I mean, that Union Endicott's players were much bigger than we were in terms of size, height, weight, all of it. And they just had like stud athletes. One of which is actually all-pro defensive end Chandler Jones. Yes, a player who would eventually wind up going to the NFL was at Union Endicott when I was at Horseheads. In fact, we both graduated. In fact, if I'm not mistaken, we both graduated from our respective high schools the exact same year. So, small world, I guess. And the scary part is I played football for Horsehead, so I seen exactly what Chandler Jones could do up close. It wasn't pretty then. It's even scarier now since he's playing professionally, and you know those guys take the concept of what a grown man is to like the highest possible levels ever. So yeah, that was interesting. Let's see what else. Oh, John Bernthal's episode of Hot Ones was really good, and yeah, it was actually it was a good learning experience. I got to learn more about him. I learned how his path to becoming an actor was not the easiest one, where he had to go to places like Russia, New York, all those places. He got various roles. He formed bonds with a lot of people he's worked with. In movies like Fury and Wolf of Wall Street. Actually, one of the coolest parts about that episode is when John Bernthal was talking about, back when he was on Wolf of Wall Street, they were in production, and Leonardo DiCaprio had just had an interview with Jordan Belfort, the guy that Wolf of Wall Street's based off of. And everyone's asking, like, how did the interview go? Like, what did you... And DiCaprio famously did the scene. It's a scene that's in the movie. The "Sell me this pen" scene. Like, actually, I do not have a pen on me. But for those of you who don't know, the whole sell this pen scene works like let's say for the sake of this example, this computer mouse right here is a pen. Or maybe I should just refer to it as a computer mouse. And my point is, like, let's say I try and sell you this computer mouse. And say someone, wanted to and I was trying to sell it to someone. I believe I would say, like, click on something. And the person said, I don't have a mouse to use for clicking. And I'm like, here, supply and demand. It's actually a really clever scene, and I will admit I did not do that scene justice. But, just look up Wolf of Wall Street. It's a good movie. It is. And, John Bernthal also talked about how much of a huge stickler for sports that he is. Like, he's in the movie King Richard, and he really talked about how, like, so many sports fans and analysts really try and pay attention to all the little nuances that are sports related that you see in movies, because they really want to make sure it's accurate to what it is. And yeah, to some degree, I get it. If you want the movie to be good, you want to make sure you take the time and effort into, producing a quality movie. And if you're doing anything sports related, you want to have, like, the proper training involved to make sure, like, okay, there's going to be, like, a climactic sports related scene. What can we do? How do we train to make it the best you could ever get? And they actually do that for a lot of action movies too. But I guess with sports, it is kind of like, I'm not to say I'm like a huge sports movie fan. There are some sports movies I like. I like Remember the Titans. I love Remember the Titans. I love The Sandlot. That movie's an American classic. I think what really resonates with moviegoers with sports movies is they really want to try and be very factual. Like, what is the most true thing you could see in these movies? For example, like, in King Richard, John Bernthal actually went to go, like, get tennis lessons and train so he could be, like, a good tennis coach in the movie King Richard. For those of you who don't know, King Richard is a movie that's coming out that John Bernthal says he's actually really proud of doing, where it's actually a Will Smith movie in which Will Smith plays the father of Venus and Serena Williams. For those of you who do not know who they are the two greatest tennis players of all time. You can make an argument that Serena Williams is the greatest athlete of all time. So, There you go. Yay, sports. Uh, Actually, I am a sports fan too, and I definitely do see the process involved. And if I ever go see movies again, I'll definitely give it a watch. I'm so far behind on watching movies. I'm not even gonna lie, bro. Maybe someday. Like, favorite, chat, subscribe button, follow me on social platforms, trying to YouTube. I'm very humble in this video for all of you guys watching. Joe for name. Hopefully, a wonderful, wonderful Friday. And remember, if you guys want to talk to me, we're here to learn and back. Take care and make good choices. See ya.